All right, folks, tonight we're preparing a special menu for the sous chef of the house, my wife, and the mama of the kids, of the boys, Miss Tammy. Beef ribs. Tune in. Now you can prepare these just exactly like you do pork ribs if you want to. You can put them in a smoker and you can barbecue them. But tonight, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna cook these in the oven. I'm gonna cook them more like you would if you were broiling a steak. So I'm gonna start out by spraying a little olive oil spray on it. Put a little touch on top. Then I'm gonna hit them with some fresh ground sea salt. Coat them down real good. Then I'm gonna touch it off with a little bit of coarse ground black pepper. This is basically all the seasoning I'm gonna do to them. I don't like a lot of seasoning on my beef. Basically just salt and pepper. Split these ribs down like this where it fit nice and neat in this pan. And I'm just gonna lay these in here. There's not a lot of meat on a beef rib, but they really, really are tasty. Sometimes they're hard to find at the store. I just happened to find these on sale here the other day at our local market. And been a long time since I cooked any, so I wanted to give them a try. There you have it. Like I said, I'll set the timer, pull them out in about an hour, and I'm gonna put aluminum foil top up and let them cook for another hour. It should be perfect, falling off the bone. Not a lot of meat, but really, really tasty. So if you get a chance and you can find some beef ribs, give them a try. Like I said, you can do them like pork. You can barbecue them. You can put them in the smoker and you can put barbecue sauce on them and, you know, wet or dry rub, whatever. I particularly don't like my beef to taste so much like I do pork. So I'd rather have, you know, when I'm doing my brisket, same way. So anyways, we'll see how this turns out. And meanwhile, gonna get ready to fix the mushroom side dish that we're gonna do. Now I'm gonna go ahead and prepare all our ingredients that are gonna go into our garlic and mushroom side dish ahead of time. And then once I get it put together, or get everything together, about 30 minutes before the ribs come out of the oven, I'll go ahead and cook all of it. So I'm gonna start by chopping up a fresh clove of garlic. Chop it up kind of medium, not real fine. Now those of you that aren't sure how to work with fresh garlic, first thing you do is you cut the ends off just like you would an onion. Chop the ends off, and you always got still a little bit of the husk on each little pod in here. So you can see you cut the ends off and just throw those away. And you got the little pods in here. So what you're gonna do is you lay your knife down flat like this, bump it one time, and that'll separate the rest of the husk, from the clove that you want to use. So then you can just make your chop it up as fine as you want to. Each one, the little pods that comes out, just hit it with the flat part of your knife. You can see how the pods come off, the hull comes off the pods, and that's how you do it. That's it. I'm gonna work on I'm gonna chop up a small red onion and And I'm gonna chop it up kind of medium as well. Red onion has a great taste when you're cooking dishes. It's not overpowering with onion. When it cooks down, it's just got a really great taste. Now I'm gonna mix that together with the garlic and red onion together right there. And I'm just gonna set it off to the side. Next thing I did is I took a cup and a half of half and half. You can use heavy whipping cream or you can use whole milk, but I'm using half and half. And I've added a tablespoon of parsley flakes and a half a tablespoon of thyme to that. All right, after I get my red onion and garlic chopped up, I've washed up my portobello mushrooms. I got some that are a little bigger than others, so what I'll do is probably third these down, and but the smaller ones, I'll leave those whole. All right, so my ribs are about 30 minutes from being finished, so I'm gonna go ahead and start putting together the mushroom dish that we're gonna serve with it tonight. First thing we'll do is melt 2 tablespoons of butter and about a teaspoon so full of olive oil in the skillet. When that gets down, melted really good, I'm gonna add in my mushrooms and I'm gonna cook those medium tender before we add our other ingredients. And once they get to going good, I'm gonna cover them for a little bit with that old pizza pan, let them get tender. My mushrooms should be getting tender about right now, so I'm gonna take off the lid and add in about a 1/4 cup of white wine. And that starts making your sauce, and right before we add in our garlic and onions and our half and half. Man, look at that. See all that good gravy that's starting to cook out of those mushrooms right there? Now, if you don't have any white wine and you'd rather use chicken stock, you can use a chicken broth or chicken stock into your mix. I always try to use, there's just something about that white wine that really gives it a lot of flavor, but I still add just a little bit of chicken broth to help it out. Something about it just gives us a little bit of flavor, so I add a little bit more of that, a little bit of that in there. But you can use just chicken broth and not even worry about the white wine. Now we've got our mushrooms, onions, and garlic all cooking in their own juices with a little white wine and a little chicken stock. Now I'm going to add in the crispy bacon and Polish sausage that we cooked off a little while ago. Now I've got that on a medium heat, and I'm gonna let that all that cream and the wine, the chicken broth, and all our seasonings start cooking together. Come to about a medium boil, and then I've got a 1/4 cup grated Parmesan and a 1/2 cup of mozzarella cheese. Gonna put that in there after this cooks for about 5 minutes. Beef ribs are ready. Just pulled them out of the oven. We'll set them over here to the side. Leave the aluminum foil on. Make sure they're good and tendered up. You might know that this evening I'm in the kitchen by myself. Well, the sous chef, who has had a long work week because all the storms that hit this past Sunday, is napping, and she is completely excused from the kitchen today. This is her Mother's Day supper. My youngest son, Grant, he's helping with some storm damage cleanup today. He's cutting some trees and moving some tin and stuff for a friend's house, at a friend's house. And the oldest just finished up college yesterday, and I might add, painfully online classes since whenever all this mess started. But he's completed it, should be getting his associate's degree within the next couple of weeks and moving on. But he's at the gym, so I am by myself in the kitchen and trying to film myself. So it's fun. Right, we got this kind of a medium boil, and I sure wish y'all could smell it. My goodness gracious, how that smells. Really good cream sauce right there. I'm gonna reduce the heat a little bit, and we're gonna add in our cheese. Look at all that cheese melting in there. My goodness. Love Italian food. This would be good served over spaghetti or any kind of pasta. Now, one thing I never tell people, because people have a different taste when it comes to salt and pepper, but salt it as you go. Salt it as you go. I'll salt mine at the very end, and I taste it to see exactly how much I need. A lot of people don't like a lot of salt, or maybe can't have a lot of salt, so I'd go a little at a time. I never tell anybody how much seasoning to put in there when it comes to salt and pepper into their dish. That's kind of an acquired taste. While that's simmering, let's take a look at our beef ribs and see how they look. Low and slow. Oh my goodness. Look at that right there, folks. That is a little piece of heaven on a bone. Oh my goodness. Well, there you have it. Beef ribs and creamy mushroom garlic. Hope you guys enjoy it. Give it a try. If I can send you a recipe, just direct message me anytime. Thanks a lot.